Toronto, Ontario, where the Raptors look to take one from a Western Conference team here at the Air Center. Part of the NBA on 2K Sports. Thanks for joining us this Sunday afternoon with Steve Kerr, Mark Kellogg, and Torresburg. This is Kevin Harlan. Welcome, everyone. You look at Houston. They find themselves energized from a strong set of performances at home, and now would love to do the same thing, guys, on the road.
Checking out Houston, they've pushed all the right buttons so far. I mean, it looks like they're in for a much better year than the one they had last year.
Well, they've gotten off on the right foot. That's the main thing. And sometimes in the NBA, it's all about that start, Jim. You can build momentum early. And then if you create enough cushion for yourself in the standings, you can deal with that adversity that's inevitably going to come.
And courtesy of State Farm, the starting group for the Rockets. Lights out in a shooting guard. Patterson plays down low with the shoot. Jeremy Lin is out there with Martin. For Toronto. Lowry and Fields are at the 1 and 2. DeRozan out there with Davis. And it's Johnson in at the center, locking down the middle.
Well, the Rockets were a team looking to rebuild a bit last season. And as is often the case with teams that are trying to put new players together in a new system, they struggled on the road.
And a new coach, too, Kevin McCullough.
That's right.
There's the pass to Fields. Gets it to go. Fields has got his second bucket.
You know, Kevin, they were a step late on their defensive rotation, and that helped them get right to the rim.
We'll go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Dwayne Casey. What's the news, Doris?
And Kevin, I asked him what he thought would be a key factor coming into this game. He said, well, our length and shot blocking should help. It gives offenses something to think about when they come inside the lane, and oftentimes that tentativeness can be a game changer. Guys, every team in the league wants that interior presence, and he just explained one big reason why.
Okay, thank you, Doris. And the defensive approach, guys, how do you think that'll play out here?
I don't know, Kevin. I'm not sure they should be more focused on their opponent than they are on themselves.
That is sort of the way it sounds, Steve, but still, I don't think a defense-first mindset is ever a bad thing.
And here are the Raptors now, after the Rockets pick up 3. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And it's Lowry penetrating. Shoots over Lin. It's Lowry again missing. Looking at the Rockets on the road, their record, 12 and 21, was a big part of why they were on the outside. Unfortunately, Steve, looking in at playoff time.
Yeah, they played well enough at home, Kevin. They're a very competitive team in Houston. But to make the playoffs, you have to be able to go out away from your building and grind out some victories. Houston just wasn't able to get enough of those.
Gets it to go.
Well, that's his shot. He is really proficient from that mid-range.
The Houston Rockets they come into tonight following a loss to the Boston Celtics.
Well, they probably should have abandoned the three-point shot in that game because their percentage was terrible. But they kept firing away from long range.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I thought that was one of the things that doomed them. I mean, you can't stick with something if it's not working for you.
Here's Lowry following the score by Kevin Martin. Patterson against Davis. An open look. It's rebounded by Asik.
Guys, I think Omer Asik out of Turkey has been one of the better defenders in the league and a huge part of his team.
Jeremy gets it to go.
You know, that part of the floor, guys, is more or less his real sweet spot, right in his wheelhouse.
Then against Lowry. Pass to Fields. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Off target with the free throw line, Jay.
You know, another thing about Asik, guys, is he's a fantastic rebounder. Per minute basis, top 5 in the league. I mean, a good rebounder gets one every 3.25 minutes. He's well above that norm. So even if he's not putting up big scoring numbers, he's a player that can help you win.
And here are the Raptors now. Following the score by Houston. Johnson gets the bucket. For the Raptors, they come in off the loss to Dallas.
And Kevin, looking at their performance offensively in that game, it's hard to find even one area in which they weren't poor.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. They look completely lost at that end of the floor.
Here's lights out. Off target from outside. Raptors trail by 4. Here's DeRozan. It's blocked. Lin with it. Right now averaging 11 points a game. And it's blocked. Now Here's Lowry. Right side Lowry. DeRozan. The rebound by Omer Asik. Asik's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Yeah, he struggled with his shot this quarter. He's got to find a groove somehow.
The Rockets again can't hit.
Boy, they were ready for him right there. I mean, totally collapsed the defense on him.
The drive by Lowry. Gives him the lead pass. DeRozan's shot is good. The grind of the NBA season. What a pleasure this year's tournament. Let's check out the West and see how the standings are. Take a look at the Lakers. And of course, Houston, 6.5 games behind them.
Right now for the Rockets, they've got to be very pleased with how this campaign has kicked off for them.
Well, it's been a good start, and they'd like to keep it going. Obviously, the NBA season being so long, it's tough to maintain a start like this. But all they can do is just focus on each and every game and try to keep this momentum that they built here in the early morning.
By any measure, it was not a memorable season for the Raptors last season. But they can take away that they held their own against the West, Kevin. 8-10 against the Western Conference.
Yeah, not bad. And the Raptors going out now with a whole new group. .135 left here in the opening quarter. Douglas against Calderon. Ross passes to Klaiser. Shot clock at 5. Rebounded by Lamb. 8-10, like you talked about, Clark, might not sound like much, but it is better than a lot of the teams, Steve, in the East who made the playoffs.
Kind of a surprising number, really, when you think about how strong the Western Conference was and what a poor season Toronto had. 8-10 sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Valenciunas, he's checked in for Toronto. DeRozan comes in for Bargnani. Gary Forbes checked in for Houston. Lights out comes in for Lamb. Raptors trail by 5. And here's Calderon. Right now averaging 7 points a game. Dishes it to Klaiser. Fires from 18. The shot's good on the assist by Calderon. 56 seconds left in the first quarter. Douglas against Calderon. To the inside. Here's Johnson, and that one's good.
Gotta love the low post offense. That was beautiful.
The Raptors have gone 6 of 14 shooting the ball since the start of the game. Calderon dishes to Valenciunas. It's tipped. And so it looks like the Raptors will retain possession here. Some changes here for the Raptors. Andrew Fields checking in for Ross. And it's Lowry in for Jose Calderon. The Rockets also changing it up. Martin comes in for Gary Forbes. And it's Jeremy Lin in for Lights Out. We've got 33 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Lowry kicks to Klaiser. Shot clock at 6. Beyond the arc. Rebound by Johnson.
They are setting the tone here early with the work on the board.
And only a moderate advantage here, slightly, but as the game wears on, one they'll definitely look to build on.
Here's Martin. Rebound by the Raptors. This is the second time they've matched up against Houston.
And you chalk that loss up to poor shooting, guys. There was very little flow to their offense, and they really didn't find quality shots.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. It's a combination of poor execution and then no quality shots. They seem far too focused on doing it themselves, going solo, playing hero ball, we like to call it, versus cohesive team play.
And that does it for the first quarter. Rockets ahead.
Make sure to pick up a copy of 2K Sports Magazine. Lights Out, the cover athlete, a breakout talent, making his mark in the NBA.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. When you consider how the Rockets are doing, Steve Clark, what are your thoughts?
Defense has been key in building this lead. They've really clamped down hard.
They've done a nice job, Steve. I think challenging every shot, a hand up on every shot.
Landry Fields, former second-round pick of the New York Knicks, had an excellent start to his NBA career. In fact, played so well that able to parlay a couple couple of solid seasons into a big offer sheet from the Raptors. And I think it's a good fit. Fields, good outside shooter, good size, rebounder for a guard. Good all-around player.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. Taking a look at the Rockets. Anderson plays down low with the sheet. Torrey Douglas out there with Jeremy Lin. And it's Martin in at the small forward. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hi, guys. Lights out in their last game against the Celtics. Seemed to be struggling. He picked up 5 points, but he's now had a string of games that leave much to be desired. Coach told me that he's still very optimistic, however, and feels he'll break out of the funk soon. Perhaps we'll see it tonight, Kevin.
Okay, Doris, thanks for the report. Guys, do you think we'll see a better game here tonight? Clark, I'll start with you.
I do, Kevin. I mean, I think he's got the mental fortitude, the mental fabric, if you will, to get right back on track. Don't want to let a game like that get you out of sync. It's important to get back to your rhythm.
No question. Because once you get 2 or 3 bad games in a row, all of a sudden you can lose some confidence. So I think tonight's a big game for him.
Plays on the pass to Lucas. The rebound by Patterson. Patterson's got his 3rd rebound on the night.
And guys, going back to Field, the Raptors knew they needed wing help. They liked what they saw in Landry and made no hesitation to sign him to an offer sheet.
Well, another move there. They're playing well.
Looking to add to this cushion, and that's just what they've done, I think.
Lucas kicks to DeRozan. For Martin. DeRozan's shot is good. DeRozan's got 6. Rockets leading by 7.
I thought Toronto made a bold move drafting Valanciunas last year because they knew he wouldn't be able to come over and play for a full season. But that could turn into one of the turning points for this franchise because he has a chance to be an excellent player. Between he and Bargnani, this is a club that could turn it around pretty quickly.
DeRozan gets a screen from Johnson. Feeds it to Clayson. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. I remember teams were reluctant to wait on Valanciunas to come over, but the Raptors, Clark is also back down the memory bench. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. He feeds it to Morris. Here's lights out. And he can extend the lead to double digits.
You know, he can be a little hesitant near the rim. We saw it there. If the defense offers just a little bit of resistance, he doesn't take it up quite strong enough.
Davis setting the pick for Calderon. Rockets leading by 6. Here's lights out. Kicks it to Johnson. Jams it with authority.
Exclamation point right there, guys. That was a strong throwdown finish.
It was, and a little extra face time as it eases off the iron.
Well, it's about self-preservation, guys. Sometimes that's the safest route. Make sure you don't have any bodies or feet or ankles below you, and then calmly let yourself down on the floor.
Calderon gets to Ross. Takes the lead pass. Some nice ball movement here by the Raptors. Here's Gray. Up and in on the way.
It's been a little too easy for them inside, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, Steve. I mean, they've really dictated the action in the paint. That's been their focus, and the defense hasn't mounted much resistance at all.
It's good.
Offensively just hammering away in the paint.
And that's 10 straight points inside, too.
Raptors trail by 8. Now Lowry still looking to get on the scoreboard. That's good. The Rockets have gone 6-12 in the second quarter, right at the 50% mark from the field. There's the dish to Morris. Can't get it to go. And Toronto will go the other way with it. They can look forward to the Quicken Loans Arena after this game in a matchup against Cleveland. That'll be just one game played away from home for them. Lowry dishes to Davis. Back to Lowry. He passes to Gray. Gets it to go. He's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, you look at the Rockets head coach Kevin McHale in just his second full season as an NBA coach. Remember, he spent a couple of years as an interim coach for the Timberwolves, working as a GM. And really did a great job with that Houston club last season.
Calderon with it's good.
He's done a nice job, a great job actually, finding efficient shots here in the second. Shooting percentage always a function of the kinds of shots you get. He's on a good roll after struggling a bit in the first.
Here's Johnson. The 9-footers on the mark. Johnson's got 6. And you mentioned McHale's tenure with Minnesota. 13 years as the general manager of the Timberwolves. Yet Steve unable to really build a consistent winner around the great pick of Kevin Garnett.
Well, they had it going for a while, Kevin, when they had Marbury and Garnett, but then Marbury forced his way out with the trade, and Minnesota had a couple of good seasons after that, but then they really went in the tank, and I think it was a difficult time for McHale, and I think a lot of people questioned whether he'd be a good NBA coach, but to me, it looks like he is pretty solid. He's been around the game forever. But he's got a good feel for his players, puts them in a position to succeed.
And there's the feed to land. It's rebounded by Kyle Lowry.
He thought he could knock that one down, but the defense was really all over him.
Calderon for 3. Got it off in time, but it's no good. And the first half is now in the books. Rockets lead by 7. Stay with us, folks. We'll get back just after halftime to start the third quarter.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Glad you're along for the ride as we get set to bring you the halftime show. The NBA season beginning to take shape. A strong first half for the Rockets. Nice ball movement offensively, making the extra pass, and it's paying off. All around great effort by Lights Out. After 2, he's got 6 points and is up to his usual tricks, dropping a lot of dimes all over the court. The Raptors are still in it and going all out. They'd like to forget that first half. Coach has not been happy with what he's seen out there, and they'll likely come out with major adjustments. A slow go so far from Kyle Lowry. He'll be happy to change baskets, even told his coach the lid was on that side of the court. And that's all there is for me here in the studio. Time to send you back to my friend Kevin Harlan and the crew for the second half.
Second half just about to get going here.
Well, Kevin Martin in this one, he's got 7 points. He's ventured beyond the arc for a three-pointer today, too.
And that's another thing he's proven he has the ability to do. But he wouldn't mind seeing a few more of those 3 balls drop for him.
Lowry and Fields are at the 1 and 2. Davis is out there with Amir Johnson. And DeRozan in at the 3 spot. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors.
Well, Kevin, in the NBA, you've got lots of shooters, but only so many shot creators, and he's one of them.
Yeah, you love to have a guy like him with the ball shot clock running down and just let him go to work. He is a shot manufacturer late in the game.
Outside, win. Here's Lights Out. 4 on the shot. Houston needs to get a shot. Shoots from the baseline. Patterson, that's good. Patterson's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Well, Houston had an interesting season a year ago, Kevin, because remember they made that trade for Pau Gasol before the season started that was rescinded by the NBA. And then Kevin McHale, first-year coach for the Rockets, he had to mend fences with the guys who were supposed to be involved in that deal, and he obviously did a nice job because the Rockets went on to have an excellent season.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Well, for Jeremy Lin last season, an unprecedented breakthrough for a player who couldn't even get a Division I scholarship offer going into college. He said, quote, "I couldn't even get some deep free schools to look at me. That used to bother me a lot. Now as I'm getting older, I don't worry about it. It's not about proving things to other people anymore for me. It's about playing the right way." But that outsider status made him hungry. He said, "When I'm on the court, I try to play with all my emotion and all my heart. I don't really try to hold too much back." Gentlemen,
Infectious enthusiasm, Doris. You see it every time he steps on the floor.
He did it his way, which is what I respect. Really
In Houston for so long has had so many great sinners. Steve, we're talking about that. Those players from Akeem Olajuwon, Lowry, they still seem to be looking for their
most important thing, Kevin, is that under Kevin McHale, his coach, they can keep getting better as a team while they try to find that big man to bring in. This is, to me, what makes this team fun to watch.
And the basket by Johnson.
You know, those types of high percentage shots, Kevin, should be a big part of what they do going forward.
Outside for Martin. Here's lights out. And blocked. And it's out of bounds to the Rockets as Houston retains possession.
6 seconds on the shot clock. 6.
Just 5 to shoot. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
First personal foul.
You know, I think a lot of players, Kevin, should look at what Jeremy Lin's been doing in the offseason and take a few notes. I mean, not just basketball work, but advanced training targeted to improve his speed, agility, and leaping ability, becoming a better athlete in addition to becoming a better basketball player going forward.
And Clark, you mentioned that Jeremy Lin's work on his athleticism, and the Knicks said when they tested his agility after bringing him in that it was off the charts. Better than anyone had ever tested, they said. Well, I find that kind of hard to believe, but that's what they say.
Yeah, well, Lin obviously came a long way from when he came out of Harvard in the draft because he really didn't test that well at that time. But he's worked so hard, got himself in unbelievable condition, and also has a lot to prove. Everybody predicted he would fail, and he's proven them wrong.
Lowry against Martin. Lowry drives in. Johnson, the pass to Lowry. Back to Johnson. Some nice ball movement here by the Raptors. Lowry against Martin. From the arc. The shot by Lowry, no good. Rockets leading by 11. Right side, Lin. Here's lights out for the 3. Rebound by the Raptors. Fields has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Lowry drives in. Passes it to Davis. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. 6 assists in the game. And while we have a moment, let's find out which point guards have been at the best month from the charity stripe. Kyle Lowry, number 1.
That's the guy you want to think about. Simple as that.
I think your point guard is your leader, and he sets a tremendous example at the foul line with his composure against his strike.
DeRozan with the rebound. Raptors trail by 9. And Fields picks to DeRozan. And that one's good. DeRozan's got 6 here in this quarter.
Guys, he's really shot the ball well. It's definitely not his fault they find themselves trailing.
Here's lights out. Down low. The Sheik, who's guarded by Johnson. Easy shot. Martin with the bucket. Martin's got 12 points in the game.
Boy, he's been so cool out there. Composed, never rattled. I mean,
3 Forbes comes in for Kevin Martin. And Tony Douglas is subbed in for Jeremy Lin. From the line, they get the rebound. Second shot opportunity. And DeMar DeRozan the bucket on the assist from Valanciunas.
you know, he's having a special quarter. 100% field goal shooter. They need to continue to ride it and work to get him good shots.
Parsons defended by Bargnani. Here's lights out. Calderon pulls it in.
And I'll tell you what, this has been one ugly quarter for him.
And it keeps getting uglier. I mean, his touch is basically gone able.
You know, one of the things you have to do when you're trying to turn a franchise around, like the Raptors are, you have to control your home floor. And the team made some improvements a year ago, especially defensively under Dwayne Casey, but they still have not been able to be consistent winners in Toronto, and that's the next step for them.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
It's a very interesting motivational object for the Raptors. Coach Dwayne Casey had a 1,300-pound boulder placed in the Raptors dressing room. He said it's from a story about a stone cutter. Every time a stone cutter hits a rock, it may not break. You may have to hit it 100
Patterson's got his first 2 points.
I can imagine they're going to hear an earful about this next stop. I mean, that's 3 straight field goals given up right in the middle of the lane. Inexcusable.
Well, defense starts at the rim. One team shooting the ball from the outside, and that's not happening. They're just giving up everything inside.
He's good. Fields has got 6. Rockets leading by 7. He takes it to Forbes. Here's lights out. He dishes it to Patterson. Oh, that's blocked. Douglas against Fields. There's the pass to DeRozan. Pass to Calderon from downtown. And placed down as it looks like they call over the back here.
He gave the official no choice there. Easy call, went right over the top.
Yeah, he's got to go straight up when he's under the boards in that kind of traffic. Get chest first into the man in front of him.
The third quarter comes to a close. The Rockets ahead, up by 7. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Center in downtown Toronto.
No better show in town than the Rockets. Come out and join the excitement.
Now welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. Who's had the Sprite uncontainable game in this one? Well, let's go to Doris Burke.
Thanks, Kevin. It's the Rockets with the Uncontainable Game Award for the offensive stretch they put together. They have been in their drills and bothering shots all game, and they've been able to maintain that level of intensity as their lead grows.
Thank you, Doris. And how many times, guys, do we see a run like this become the difference maker in the outcome of a game?
Well, it usually is the case, Kevin, when one team can get on a run like they did, where they just feel so dominant offensively. More often than not, that's going to be the difference in the game.
And in this game, even at the very beginning of that run, you could sense the momentum getting ready to take a huge swing. And swing it did, fellas. Swing it did.
So on the floor for Houston. Lights out in a 2-guard. Patterson plays down low with the sheet. Martin is out there with Jeremy Lin. Here's Johnson. And it's good. Terrific work on the offensive glass to make that one work.
Well, you love his motive, the effort level that's there on the offensive boards. That's always there. And those are the kind of things that create extra possessions for a team. And ultimately, NBA games are generally close. So 2-3 extra possessions in a game can turn out to be different between winning and losing.
We also would have to label him the human eraser, Steve. One of the few players whose blocks make it into the highlight reel.
Well, one of the great stories that we've ever seen in the NBA took place a year ago. Linsanity, they called it. The emergence of Jeremy Lin as the Knicks point guard. Pretty amazing. He had been cut several times, but the Knicks thrust him into that starting role, and he just took off with it.
We've played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter. Offensive rebound. Outside Lowry. Dishes to DeRozan. The second chance effort. Feeds it to Calderon. Nailed from three-point land.
I'll tell you what, they might want to pay a little more attention to him defensively than they did on that last trip.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Well, guys, Kevin McHale had some advice for the team in that last break. We laid out the X's and O's and told them, we're still alive, guys. We've just got to work together, trust each other, and play our backsides off. Kevin, we'll see if they've got enough mental to get over the top.
All right, Doris, thanks.
You know, that's something he's capable of every trip down.
And it's just impossible to get tired of.
Yeah, there's always this excitement, this aura that surrounds him. The crowd senses it.
Special thanks to Sprite for that sweet replay. And Steve, you go back to that incredible start for Jeremy Lin. First player on record to have at least 20 points and 7 assists in his first 5 starts.
And let's dig into those numbers even a little more, Kevin. In those 5 games, he set the record for most points scored by a player in their first 5 starts since the NBA-ABA merger back in 1976. Remarkable.
Calderon for 3. Another shot. Lifts up. And the basket by Johnson.
Something has to change, guys. That's 10 straight points coming in the paint against this team.
Well, they got to collapse in there, and everybody's got to be conscious of it. It's a team effort in protecting the paint. Control the ball, and everybody's got to get in there and keep the defense locked down.
He's playing selfishly now, guys. He's just trying to get as many shots up as he can. He doesn't look at all concerned about his teammates.
Looks to me like they hit the refresh button here in the second half after shooting less than 40% from the field before the break.
Now, they managed to hold down the fort defensively. Now their offense is finally starting to kick in the groove.
It's stolen by DeRozan. Now here's Calderon. And again, it's Toronto converting.
No question, they're trying to pound the ball inside. There's 5 straight loops inside.
And if the D won't stop it, keep at it. And those are the kind of looks you want all day long. He's starting to heat up from outside. That's his second this half.
Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Johnson with a screen on Lane. Lowry drives in. The Rockets pull it in.
Well, I think sort of just playing this one out now as they get the last rebound. They really haven't had much success today controlling the missed shot.
Harden against DeRozan. Here's lights out. Tries to keep it alive. It's stolen by DeRozan. And oh, here we go. DeRozan.
Watch out!
Unbelievable.
Look at that.
How about that?
Look at that.
How about that? What a sensational finish.
Oh, gotta be able to get some game time to do that.
Yeah, you got to rise and levitate.
Suspend yourself.
Yeah, levitate.
And glide. And glide. You got to glide in and reverse it home. So sweet.
Free throw good, Martin.
Now, even though they're down, I like their mentality. Work it inside and try to create some contact down low.
I like it as well. I mean, you just can't assume that you can shoot your way back into it when you're down. You got to grind it out. And part of that is getting the ball inside.
Andrew Fields checking in for Jose Calderon.
And not much resistance on that jump.
Defensively, you're right. Not a great sequence.
Well, they lost track of them and they paid the price.
Lynn dishes to Martin. Yes! And a nice assist from Lynn. 23 points for Martin.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this team.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up. They can put it on the floor.
Lowry against Lynn. He feeds it to Martin to take the lead. Again, Martin missing. Toronto's gone 1-2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Here's DeRozan. That falls. Nice shot on top from Kyle Lowry. DeRozan's got 14 points now in the second half. Lynn against Lowry. Anderson is screen on DeRozan. And it's Martin penetrating. Here's Lynn. And that one's good.
Defense playing that well. How much they overrated my
left in the fourth quarter of this one. Lowry passes to Fields. The shots get on the assist by Lowry. And the Raptors lead by 2.
Up over 50% now from the floor with a great big shot this half.
Yeah, that's a nice improvement. It's not a surprise to see them out in front with the way they have shot throughout the entire game, as a matter of fact. They've been very efficient offensively.
That's 4 of their last 5 coming from long range. This offense is cooking.
Yeah, it's rolling, really rolling. Defensively, they kept collapsing Steve and leaving them open. So now they're in trouble. They're in a real dilemma now.
Martin from outside. And another 3 for Houston.
Boy, they have just gone crazy from three-point range since coming out of the halftime break.
Boy, it's been 1 3 after another. Absolute barrage.
And Fields pitched to Lowry. 6 on the shot clock. Shots over Lynn. Kept alive. Here's Davis. Blocked. And so they choose to intentionally foul. Rockets have gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6-10 here in the final quarter. And stolen by Kyle Lowry.
That was all about anticipation. Reading that play beautifully and coming away with the steal. What a huge shot.
That's what happens when you knock it down late.
The Rockets shooting it brilliantly here lately. 60% from the field. Pitch to a shoot. Outside Martin. Shoots over to Rosen. And it's Martin missing. Now Lowry. Shoots over Lynn. Oh, missed it. Fields. Oh, he couldn't make that shot go to force overtime. So it's a narrow victory for the Rockets.
It was an okay game for you, but I imagine you're most happy with the win. How do you feel about your individual performance after that one?
Man, it was pretty weak. Not one of my better games, to be honest, but when you play like that and the team still wins, it's actually pretty encouraging. Because you know you're usually going to contribute more, and if the team can win without that, then just imagine how strong we can be when we put it all together. So yes, rough game for me, but in general, I like to try to maintain a positive outlook.